Chris sang something, and I said that really disturbs me. That's what I was singing in my head. And as I finished that, you laughed, and I was like, "Yeah, it's funny." And then, hang on,
funny. That's so funny.
It's not that funny.
Oh, balls!
You're probably finishing each other's sentences already, aren't you?
Me and Danny, our cycles are
Charlie and
in
me?
sync.
No, Charlie's rubbish.
What?
Yeah, it's true.
Excuse me, I've loads of sentences today, Charlie, and you have not finished any of them.
Okay, so Restream says that YouTube is streaming, but it doesn't seem to be there. So we're just going to go for it because it doesn't really matter. So we have Facebook and Twitch. We have a brace of platforms. So I think we should go for it. Okay.
Duo streaming.
Oh, I've forgotten my intro. What's my intro going to be?
Superhero. Oh no, that's the one you do in the bar.
Oh, yeah, I know. Okay, if everybody's ready, let's do a panel show podcast.
Yay!
Oh, that's in the wrong place. Oh, for fuck's sake, Chris. Oh, I haven't got my silent mouse.
He hasn't got his silent mouse, people. Squeak, squeak.
All right, let's go. Welcome to Idiot Win, the panel show podcast made by idiots for idiots, loosely celebrating idiocy in many different shapes or forms. This used to be quite an interesting concept before complete idiots started running the world. Nevertheless, we shall carry on celebrating some form of idiocy, and I'm delighted to say we have 4 idiots with us today, and they are Danny O'Hara. Danny, how are you doing? Danny isn't all 4 of the idiots. That sentence didn't scan very well. You're but one single idiot.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, I'm good. From one idiot to another.
Yeah,
everything's going okay. Thank you very much. Looking
We're
forward to
all idiots here, and we mean it in the nicest possible way. We mean it as a term of endearment, I think, don't we?
Well, I mean, I'm hoping you do.
Yeah.
I haven't confirmed how I mean it, if I'm honest.
Will you confirm for us later in the show, perhaps?
Yeah, okay. If that's required, then maybe.
Joining Danny is Mr. Mark Womersley. Hello, Mark Womersley. How are you?
Hello, Chris Reed. I'm very well, thank you.
Very well.
Very well. Extremely excited about today's news that you put to us and gave us. And
what news is that?
The news that me and Danny are finally.
I haven't revealed that yet.
On this show.
Yeah.
We're finally on this show.
But it's fine.
And your tech is working finally. Yes,
yeah,
that was the news.
Yeah, everything's working finally. And what Mark is alluding to there is that in a Idiot Win First, we're going to play the team captains against the guests. So Danny and Mark, you're on each other's team. You're on the same team. How does that feel?
I mean, yeah.
Yes, I'm more excited than you can tell underneath the desk.
I've come prepared.
Yeah, right. Danny's masked up. All right, so we'll come back to you to get a team name off you in a minute. I don't know how it's going to work with 2 captains. A ship with 2 captains often goes around in circles, as the famous proverb goes. So facing them, not joining them, facing them, we have 2 guests. We have, making a return to Idiot Wind, the wonderful Charlotte Gardner. Hello, Charlie.
Buongiorno.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very, very good. Thank you very much. What is, do you have any thoughts at this juncture? Anything you'd like to share with the audience?
I'm thinking nothing, actually.
Yeah, good. That's a
good place to be. Completely blank mind.
Do you know what? That makes you like a Zen Buddhist monk. People have been trying for thousands of years to do that, and you've just done it. Congratulations.
I'm feeling better about having Mark on my team now as well.
Why's that?
Well, she's got no thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, it's Idiot Wind. I'm an idiot. No thoughts.
Is as blank as our background.
So actually, Charlie, I think because of your maturity, intelligence, wit, style, and the fact that you've been on a couple of times, I think you are de facto team captain today.
So. I'm honoured.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Should have
this
made
is
you a hat.
awkward. This is going to get awkward over on our side.
So,
Ooh.
on Charlie's team is I'm very happy to have this person with us today, making Idiot Win debut. It's Tony Amos. Hello, Tony.
Yay.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm hoping I can find out where I am on the idiot spectrum today. I'm
You
hoping that
are
I'll get a PH of my idiot.
with that hat. You've made a great start, in my opinion. I don't want you to feel left out, Tony, because all the other three are captains. So I'm officially making you a captain as well. So it's an all captains contest today. Everybody is a team
sinking
captain.
ship.
Everybody is senior. Everybody has authority apart from one person. And let's go and meet them now. Let's take our first trip of the day to Matthew's Corner Beach Resort. Hey, Matthew, how you doing?
Hey, I'm pretty chilled today. Thank you.
You look fairly chilled out. What's led to this state of affairs? You look like someone who's just sold their tech company for a couple of million.
Well, I looked through the crack in the wall that is my only outlet to the outside world and saw that it was very sunny. I heard a rumor that it was a bank holiday, and I thought, yeah, let's pretend to be in the beach. And even though I can't actually feel the sun or see the sea or sand, I'm in the zone.
Popped yourself a shirt on and got a lay.
This is actually normally what's underneath my normal attire. I always wear this shirt. So,
Well, we're all naked on the inside, aren't we?
well, you say that.
Good. So, what's going to be going on in Matthew's Beach Resort today? Have you got a steel band? Any entertainment? Any?
We have absolutely no entertainment whatsoever. There is still a lockdown on after all, so it's just sand and some seagulls, and that's pretty much it. Not even any litter.
No, good.
No,
Keep things
it's a
nice and tidy.
clean beach, and the best way of keeping a clean beach is to not allow anyone on it.
Yeah, we've got
So
a blue
it's
flag.
just me in an office near an imaginary beach with my cocktail and my hat.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you managed to look out of the crack in the wall. I will be around to fill that in a couple of days to prevent any more of you seeing the outside world.
Great.
Okay, let's get some team names. Mark and Danny, what's your team name going to be? I don't know who's captain. Oh, everyone's captain.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
So-
Mark, over to you.
I've forgotten. What did I say it was? Oh, yes. We are called the Best of Friends.
Oh, is that an ironic title?
Yes. No. We'll find out by the end of the show.
I'm never quite sure if you two love each other or hate each other, but that's part of the
No.
fun. Good. All right. So you are called the Best of Friends, and the Best of Friends will be playing Charlie and Tony, both captains of the other team. How are you going to name your team?
I was thinking going for a kind of Avengers theme, seeing as we have Tony on our team and two captains. So I'm thinking something Stark and Rogers.
Stark and
Ooh.
Rogers. Are you happy
That's
with,
good.
happy with that, Tony? Stark and Rogers. It's
Yeah,
Best
as
of
long as we're
Friends.
not actually Stark, that's okay.
And if there's any Rogering, we will be taken off Facebook Live. So try and cut down on that as well. All right. It's Best of Friends versus Stark and Rogers. I'm excited. I think we should start, which in a sensible place, which we often call round one.
Sort it out.
Yes, round one is called Sort It Out. I'm going to give our team some kind of conundrum, something for them to sort out if they possibly can. And this week, teams, the question to you is, according to the government of Western Australia, what criteria should judges have in mind when judging a prize cauliflower competition at a country fair? So we'll start with Best of Friends. What insight do you have into judging cauliflowers?
Can I just say before we start that this?
I mean, maybe.
No,
what's
you
your-
haven't consulted with me yet. What are you saying?
Well, I was just wondering if you enjoying watching, having. Well, no, not now. We've gone, but it was so fascinating to see a little bit of life in Matthew's Corner there.
But yeah, I try and stamp that out wherever possible. Matthew isn't there to have a life. He's there to sit in darkness and contemplate the futility of existence, apart from 1 hour on a Saturday when he's allowed to have fun with us.
Okay, well, he looked like he was having fun, so I just
Yeah.
wanted to highlight that because we're not looking like we have so much fun. So
No, Matthew is not supposed to have more fun than us. It's supposed to be the other way around. Can I just
Okay.
say, I will be clamping down on Matthew's fun this week,
Okay.
and next week you expect dead eyes and a bleak kind of aura. Okay.
Oh, phew. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll do a
all right.
swap, Matthew.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you my dead eyes, and maybe you can have Mark's aura.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the cauliflower question, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah, cauliflowers, mate. How do you
Please.
judge cauliflowers?
Mark.
Oh, okay. Well, Well, it's just you put your hand up and started talking, so I thought you were. Anyway, yes. Well, the main thing I think you need to look at is for counterfeit cauliflowers.
Okay.
Broccoli that's painted white, brain that's painted white, a boxer lying on his side with his ear coming through the ground, a sheepdog with a rose stapled to it.
A sheepdog with a rose stapled to it.
Cauliflower.
Very good.
That's my first pun, probably.
Nice.
And just general, generally looking out in January for counterfeits. Over to you, fellow captain and much admired friend, Danny. Oh, actually you're in charge, Chris, is that right?
No, it's fine. I mean, you take on my job as well. I'd like to. You're better than me.
Yep.
Don't give him an inch, Chris.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Now, okay. I actually have been to Western Australia, and I've been through their rigorous checks.
Have you been to a cauliflower competition?
Well, exactly. That's exactly my point.
She won it.
I do have the inside here. So clearly that, well, I will say clearly, but it's a new revelation to myself that it used to be the size of the head was important. However, Mark, head size is not the only thing we need to talk here, because actually it turns out that it's not just about the head, it's about the green bits going up around it, because that's also edible. I didn't know you could put that in your mouth. I just thought that was like the compost.
Okay. Yeah, do you know what? I for those that don't know, I have the delightful privilege of living with Miss Danny O'Hara, and she has quite recently started eating the green bits and cauliflower. I didn't realise that either.
Yeah,
that you could, and she's not dead yet.
No,
you have to cook them.
Yeah, no, you cook them. It's a bit. It's like a whole new. It's like spinach or cabbage.
Yeah, they're fucking disgusting, but you can eat them.
No.
As long as you get the head as well.
Yeah. So the point is, over there, when they're checking the cauliflower, they're not just checking for head. They're just checking for.
So in conclusion, when in a vegetable competition, head isn't going to get you to win.
No, it's the bit around the edge as well.
Yes.
I don't know what to call that though.
I'd like to apologise to any viewers who are hard of hearing for the sign language that Danny was just doing then. They might not be able to hear me anyway.
I'm not sure what the bit around the head of the cauliflower is. Let's call it the shaft. All right. Anybody else want to have a guess on the other team?
That's not where I was going with that. I want to flag up.
I think people are well aware that that's where I was going.
I
think people know that I'm a child and you're a mature adult. Okay, over to Stark and Rogers.
I was thinking in Australia, they definitely want cauliflower that looked a bit like rugby players' ears, maybe.
Yes. And
I think another name for the head is the curd, but I don't know what that. I don't know if the curd is perhaps a name for the green bit, and they'd like curvaceous curd, maybe. I don't know, Charlie.
Curvaceous curd.
I like the shout out there. I have no idea, Tony.
Curvaceous curd, Charlie.
Can I do a factoid? So the other thing you might need is a scientist to judge the competition, because cauliflower has a fractal of 2.8. So all of that bulginess that looks a bit like brain is all growing in a fractal arrangement, a scientific.
Oh, isn't nature beautiful? It's probably got something to do with the golden ratio, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's some sort of special mathematical conundrum that cauliflowers follow that fractal. The other thing is, if you're going to call it something, you'd call it the Florence Nightingale Trophy.
Oh, yes. I wish I had some kind of fanfare for that and we could all stand up and applaud, but sadly I don't. Charlie?
So I was thinking, in Australia, they've got a different way of doing things, and I think they base it off filmography.
Uh-huh.
So I think they look at the previous works of the cauliflower. So I'm thinking a previous winner, I believe, was the Best Exotic Cauliflower Hotel stuff. One of the 90s was Steel Cauliflowers. Less famous, but a bit cult. But the most recent winner was Perks of Being a Cauliflower, I believe.
All right, four excellent answers.
That's quite interesting, actually. I'd just like to add that I have noticed that trend too, and but it was more like quotes from films, and definitely I've seen Australians opening doors and saying, "It's cauliflower."
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Good knowledge. 4 excellent answers. We're dangerously close with one of them to some actual factual, interesting
Oh,
information.
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not sure how that's going to play in Matthew Corner. It depends very much what sort of mood he's in. Let's go there now and see how that's worked out. Matthew.
Well, yes, there weren't quite as many points as you would like to think. 1 point for Danny for talking about not just head, because it is about the plant as a whole rather than just the delicious white bits.
No points for head.
So points for not just head.
Points for not just head.
Yeah, and there is also a point to Stark and Rogers for talking about curds, as curds are indeed measured, which
Nice.
just by saying the word curds, I was like, yeah, that will do, because the rest
I
of
think
it's about
curvaceous curds was the lovely phrase used.
So a point for curvaceous curds and a point for not just head.
How do you like your curds? Do you like them curvaceous?
Absolutely not.
No. If you described your perfect curd, what would it be?
Not on the plate.
Good. Oh, right. Lovely stuff. It's 1-1. Both teams have managed to score points, which is usually not a thing that happens in round 1. I'm excited that it is. We're going to move on to round 2, which is Chris's conceptual pocket.
Chris's conceptual pocket.
Yeah, round 2 is Chris's conceptual pocket. I've said that. The jingle said it. Now I've said it again. There's a little bit of redundancy in this podcast. This week, Matthew is going to delve into my conceptual pocket and see what he finds, and then we're going to bloody play it as if it was a game. All right, Matthew, off you go.
Right. Let me see. It's under here today. Oh. Retro smooth.
Retro smooth. Retro soothe.
Soothe.
Soothe, yeah, retro soothe. Ah, wow, that's exciting. I didn't know that was coming. So we're going to play retro soothe today. So it's a very clever portmanteau word. The first half of it meaning historical, the second half of it meaning predicting the future, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Each of our teams are going to be facing a series of 5 questions, one after the other. I mean, obviously not all simultaneously. That'd be fucking ridiculous even for this show. And one of them is going to be trying to answer the question that is coming next, and one of them is going to be answering the question which has happened before. Nobody's going to be answering the current question, and then Matthew's going to try and decipher all of this and award points for correct answers, also using the Matthew scale of interestingness and idiocy. And if he finds that somebody has inadvertently given an answer which is better than the real answer, then there'll be points to be had there. There's potentially a lot of points up for grabs here. We could have a high scoring round. Okay, so Danny and Mark, the best of friends, you are going to go first. Danny, you are going to be guessing forward, so you are going to be answering questions which haven't yet been asked. Mark, you're going to be answering backwards, so you're going to be answering the previous question, much like the excellent Two Ronnie sketch, which this is definitely not stolen from. Does that sort of make sense to anyone? No. Good. All right, let's get started then with question 1. And before question 1, of course, we need Danny, who is soothsaying. I need you, Danny, to guess the answer to question 1. I will give you the category. The category is first of many.
So the first of many partners that you will have in life.
So just the answer, if you wouldn't mind. We're tight on time. Sorry, that was a bit... let me try that again. Danny, what do you think your answer is to question 1?
First loves.
First loves, you think, is the answer to the question. Okay, here comes the question. Who was Henry VIII's first wife? So nobody needs to give any other answers at that point, and we move on to question 2. At this point, Mark is going to be answering question 1, and Danny's going to be answering question 3. Danny, to help you, the category... Danny's looking confused, and rightly so. Danny, the category for question 2 is big wet. Big wet. So Danny...
Big
wet. Oh, no. On the last one, you need to... Yeah, so what's your prediction for question 2?
Big wet.
What's the answer?
Fish.
Okay, and the question is, which river flows through Paris?
The one with 2 heads.
Danny?
Aren't I answering the first question?
Yes.
Oh.
Danny, fiery nickname.
Flamethrower.
Question 3. Which snooker player is nicknamed the Rocket?
He shouted, "I'm insane!"
Danny, music O.
Dr. Sergeant Pepper. That's not right, is
Question
it?
4. What does the O stand for in the band name ELO?
Alex Higgins' love child, Ronnie.
Danny, space.
Space between the earlobe and the earwax.
Question 5. Who was the second man to walk on the moon?
Every apple olive.
You think the O stands for every apple olive? Okay, Danny. You have nothing to contribute here. And finally, yeah, you're done. And finally, Mark.
Me.
Okay, thank you. Well done, Matthew. Did you get all of that? Okay, right. Let's run through and see what they got. Matthew.
Mark got a point.
Wow.
Yes, it's a miracle. He got a point for mentioning Ronnie O'Sullivan. And actually, there's a second point because he renamed ELEAO, which I think is a brilliant name for ELO.
There we go. ELEAO.
Was there nothing for insane?
No.
Okay, there you go. That's what you get for making a pun. All right, and now it's over to the Rogers and Hammerstein. Rogers and Stark. Stark and Rogers. Okay, so first of all, Charlie, we need your guess for the answer to question 1. The category for question 1 is national present.
Nicolas Cage.
Okay, and question 1. Which country gave America the Statue of Liberty as a gift? The category for question 2 is long way up.
Long way up.
Long way up.
Cumulonimbus.
I'm so confused by this round. Thank you, Charlie. Question 2 is, in which country is the UK's highest mountain? Tony.
France.
Charlie. Punchy nickname.
Punchy McPunchy face.
Question 3. What is Floyd Mayweather's boxing nickname?
Wales.
Charlie. Music E.
E-I-E-I-O with olives on top.
Question 4 is, Reginald Kenneth Dwight is better known by what name?
It's Virus McVirus face.
Charlie. Mr. Shouty.
Nicolas Cage.
Question 5. My head hurts. My head hurts. I'm so confused. Question 5. Which foul-mouthed chef hosted Kitchen Nightmares TV series?
Elton, Bernie Taupin, John.
And Charlie has no more to do. And Tony, finally.
The drunk one. Keith Merriweather Floyd.
Keith Merriweather Floyd. Oh, right. Well done. A cracking round. Over to Matthew Corner to see how you two got on.
Fantastic. There were 2 points from Tony for correctly answering the question. Well, the previous question within the confines of the game, which, by the way, I'm absolutely fine with. That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, well, it would. Your brain's wrong.
There's you getting all confused. I'm thinking, why don't we do all quizzes like this? This is perfect. And Charlie also gets a point, not for a correct answer, but for suggesting that Nicolas Cage was the country that America was given. Just, yeah, brilliant. So,
I mean, it would be quite a Nicolas Cage thing to do, make a big tower, then gift it to America, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be
exactly,
a surprise,
and to declare himself as a country for the purpose of doing it. So that means Stark and Rogers have 4 points, and the best of friends only have 3.
The Captains versus Captains Idiot Win special is only 1 point in it. The newcomers are currently leading. Will the old hands, the veterans, the mature pair, the brace of olden people? Let's move on.
See,
It's a bit harsh calling them mature when you've got me on the show.
It's true. there's a problem we have because normally I win and Danny loses, so that's kind of why we're kind of balancing it up.
That's why I've done this, to see what happens, whether it'll be like the yin and the yang and you'll balance up, or whether you'll be like the magnet that never stops spinning. We might invent perpetual motion.
The buttered toast on the back of a cat.
The buttered toast on the back of a cat, exactly, constantly spinning. All right, well, let's move on with our lives. It's time for round 3. Yes, round 3 is what the fuck, and this week we are focusing on politics. And each of you will have a question. You get first dibs on the answer, and then it will be thrown over to anybody else who wants to have a go. All right, so with that in mind, question 1 is for Danny, and your question, Danny, is: in 2006, Sam Duncan polled 12,000 votes and got elected as Union Country's Soil and Water... got elected as the president of Union Country's Soil and Water Conservation Board. What the fuck? This round is called What the Fuck. In 2006, Sam Duncan polled 12,000 votes and got elected as the president of the Union County's Soil and Water Conservation Board. What was strange about this, apart from my inability to speak?
Oh, can you say that question again?
Fuck!
This is a round that's supposed to make sense.
Question 1. Danny, in 2006, Sam Duncan polled 12,000 votes and got elected as the president of Union Country's Soil and Water Conservation Board. But what was strange about this?
That there weren't 12,000 people there to give a vote.
No. Any other thoughts?
That Sam Duncan was actually did you say Soil and Water Board?
Soil and Water Conservation Board.
Yes, and he was elected to it.
Yes. What was strange about it? He got 12,000 votes.
There was no board.
No, is not also not right. Anyone else want to jump in and have a go?
Is he Peter Duncan's 1-year-old son? And he was currently soiling his nappy, and they got it all muddled up.
That's a great answer, but it's not quite right, or at all right. I wanted to let you down gently there by saying it wasn't quite right, but it's just fucking wrong. Okay, Tony. Yes, Mark.
Was it in a place where they only have permafrost?
No.
Ooh.
It wasn't.
Did he never stand for election? He sat for it, maybe.
He did stand for election.
Was he dead?
Yes, points to Mark.
Oh,
He's
He
dead.
was dead. He'd been dead for over a month.
Ah,
Question 2.
I'm so glad.
Apparently the people in charge of the vote knew about it, but they didn't tell anyone. I think like they told it was the death was dealt with. I'm not accusing them of covering up a death. I just think that they didn't tell the voters, and they all voted for this guy. But there we go.
to be fair, he literally gave his body for the cause back to the soil.
That's true, and maybe he popped it in a river.
I
To
think
be
Sam
fair,
Duncan
Charlie,
deserves a point.
To be fair, I would just like to argue that most people are giving their bodies themselves to the cause, if that's the definition.
Not me. I'm going to be shot into space.
Right.
Very
Okay. Everyone
cremated.
else but Chris and all those others shot into space.
You're obviously a very rich man, Mr. Reed.
Not yet, but I plan to be by the time I die, which I have penciled in for next year. So this is very dark. Let's move on. Question 2, Charlie. What drastic action did Australian politician Hanjel Barn take to make people take her more seriously? Hanjel Barn, yes.
Did she make an agreement with Brewdog Brewery to make her name into a product?
Not that I'm aware of, but that might have happened. So I think you probably should have a point just in case that did happen. Anyone else?
I started laughing at Hanjo. What was the rest of the question?
Hanjel Barn. I don't think we should laugh at people's names. I mean, Mark Womersley. What kind of ha 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 ha? Mark Womersley. Ha 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 ha.
No,
How
I
does that
changed it to
feel?
Mark Sanitizer.
It was. What drastic action did Australian politician Hanjel Barn take to make people take her more seriously? Obviously, it's failed with you immediately.
Well, she put out a documentary on herself and the plight of her people
Yes.
on her street.
An interesting thought. No, that's not what she did.
Did she change her name to Hunting Ban?
No.
Oh.
Any other thoughts, Mark? I feel like you were going to contribute something at some point. No,
I've contributed enough.
All right. The answer is, in fact, that she paid $35,000 to have her legs broken in 4 places and then stretched over the course of 9 months, adding 3 inches to her original 5.1 inches of height. She said it was excruciatingly painful, and I hope I'm not just remembered for the fact I had my legs lengthened.
Sorry, Chris, who was her doctor? Because I think I want that procedure.
I will send you the details.
Thank you.
It's only $35,000, and Matthew will.
Charlie, I can do the breaking your legs a lot cheaper. We can talk about it after the show.
Oh, message me, please. Yep.
Okay, question 3 is for Mark.
Yes.
No, that's the wrong word. Why did South Gloucestershire Council have to delay the opening of their new £2.5 million library in 2003?
Because they realised that nobody in the county can read.
Whoa! I'm so sorry, Gloucestershire. No, it wasn't.
I'm not. I've got history with Gloucestershire.
Yeah? Do you used to date Gloucestershire and it ended badly?
No, but I'm still waiting for Dr. Foster to turn up here, and he's not arrived yet.
I think he's fell in a puddle or something, hasn't he?
Yes,
He's drowned to death.
apparently.
Just
but
another
it's-
county that's
it's
actually
up, so-
blacklisted, Mark. This is really what the issue is.
Yeah, right.
Did he get elected to the Soil and Water Board?
No.
No.
Lockdown isn't really affecting Mark because he's banned from almost everywhere in the country anyway. Anyone else want to have a guess? What was
Was the library completely demolished by a rogue cheese rolling competition in 2003?
No, not that I'm aware of. No. Why did they have to delay the opening of their new librry in 2003?
Well, because
They-
none of the books had turned up.
Is the correct answer. They forgot to order any books.
Oh,
They built the library, they
Following
arranged
up
the
on
opening ceremony, and then they realised that no one had ordered any books, so they put it back.
nice one, Danny.
That sounded almost sincere.
Yeah.
What am I saying? It didn't. Question 4, the final question of this round is for Tony. Tony, what 2 manifesto pledges saw Danish comedian Jacob Haugaard elected to the Danish Parliament in 1994?
I think probably knowing their produce, free cheese for everyone. And if you're unemployed, you can sit on the board of any company that won't employ you.
Actually, those 2 answers are more sensible than the 2 that he actually pledged. Anyone else want to have a guess?
Did you say Jacob Haugaard?
Yeah,
And he was, what year was it?
1994.
Well, because it makes, I think he pledged that they would win the Eurovision Song Contest
Okay.
from that point on, and that everyone would have free butter.
No, that's neither of those are right. Anyone else want to have a guess?
If it was 1994, it would have been that 4 Weddings and a Funeral and Love Is All Around by Wet 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 would be banned completely.
No.
Did he pledge to spend 35,000 Danish kroner? I don't know what the
Yeah.
thing was, and break his legs in 4 places, and then have an effigy of himself made out of Danish pastries.
If that is true, Charlie, that was $3.5 grand. So it's a lot cheaper in Denmark than it is. So go there.
Go there, thank you.
It was $35,000.
Yes, but in kroner, 35,000 would be 3.5.
Oh, I see. Very good. Okay, no, none of the all excellent answers. I would vote for any single one of you. But in fact, he didn't. His 2 manifesto pledges were that there would be more tailwinds on cycle paths, and he would provide more bread for ducks. So, and he got elected. He was a joke candidate, and he got elected and served 4 years in the Danish Parliament. Can you imagine that? A complete fucking joker being elected to Parliament. Matthew, points? Question mark?
Yes, there were some points. There was a point. Charlie got a question right, so there was a point.
You're swaying, Matthew. I think you've had enough of the red stuff.
Yeah, no. There was a point for Charlie, a point for Danny, a point for Mark, and just for not wanting to have a tie going into Matthew's round, an extra point for Danny just for knowing stuff about Denmark.
Ah, well, there we go.
That now puts it at Best of Friends on 6 and Stark and Rogers on 5.
Wow, this is exciting. I'm excited. I am saying words while I hunt for the jingle for the next round. Sorry, Danny.
I was just wondering. Sorry, teammate, did you not get any points in that one? Oh. Don't worry. I'm not holding it against you. It's fine. I got 2. You got 0. This is why we're teammates.
I got 1.
Mark did get a
one.
point.
I did get 1.
Are you going to deduct Danny a point for getting Mark's points wrong?
Correct answer.
All right, let's move on to round
Did I
4.
have a point?
Maybe you've got Matthew. If you didn't bring Matthew, feel free to grab Matthew. Matthew,
it's time for your corner. What's going on?
Well, I have a round for you, which is nice and simple. It's called 50 Blades of Grey. After an accident falling over a carelessly placed branch whilst taking a can of paint from the house to the shed, I have accidentally ended up with grey grass all over the lawn. Well, it is the lawn. The lawn is grey, is one. Basically, there's now grey paint everywhere.
That sounds shit.
Well, yes, and there's just one simple question. You can take it in turns to answer. What shade of grey is it?
Well, lovely. Matthew has finally reached the pinnacle of his rounds. We always said that the only thing more dull than Matthew's rounds were watching paint dry. This is the quiz equivalent of doing just that. I am going to check out mentally for 2 minutes. Please wake me when this is over.
Can I just query why you were allowed outside with paint?
It's a distant memory I had of the last time I went outside.
Matthew, I would just like to say that clearly with this weather, it was hot grey shade.
Okay, that's a good guess.
Matthew, was it mucous membrane grey?
Oh.
Okay, that's another good guess. I'll note that down. Mark, do you have a shade of paint?
Was it the grey stuff brain grey?
Okay, and Charlie, what's your shade of grey?
I don't want your grass to die, so I'm really hoping it's a shade of photosynthetic grey.
All good answers. All of them wrong. It was in fact urban obsession. It's the obvious grey from the Judah.
Danny was closest.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Okay.
So are you going to award any points?
Closest doesn't get a point.
So no points there.
No points. You didn't say urban obsession. So my grey grass will just remain unguessed.
Ooh, we just rattled Matthew's cage, I think, there. Ooh.
Yeah, well, good. He's been having far too much fun, so that's good. So just remind us what the scores are going into the last round.
We are still Stark and Rogers on 5 and the Best of Friends having a narrow lead on 6.
Whoa, well, there's 10 points up for grabs in the next round. It's the quick fire buzzer round we like to call questions. Questions. All right, teams, let's get your buzzing noises. Danny, your buzzer is going to go like this.
Sanitary.
Mark, your buzzer is going to go like this.
I'll be there for you.
Charlie, your buzzer noise.
Ah!
And Tony, what's your buzzer going to sound like?
I got my head checked.
Okay, lovely stuff. In that case, we will start with question 1. Question 1 is, what is a Mr. Stripey?
I'll be there for you.
Mark.
A wasp.
Nope. Although, yeah, good. I like that. We should call wasps Mr. Stripeys. Yeah.
Sanitary.
Danny.
A stripy sock.
No. No, it's in fact a tomato. It's a fucking tomato. Question 2. What happens when the mantis shrimp swings its claw?
I had my head checked.
Tony.
All the single ladies, all come and join him.
No, they might do, but that's not what I've got written down. Anyone else? And please do answer in song like Tony. Charlie.
I'd have a song for this, but I forgot my answer.
Oh, sorry.
Does he just? Oh, I don't know.
Have a point.
Sanitary.
Anyone else? Danny.
Raises a glass and everyone shouts, "Shrimpy cheers!"
No, sadly not.
I'll be there for you.
Mark.
Does he go Heidi, 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 Heidi? Faced on Daddy's foot. And does it cut?
That's an in joke, mate. Minus a point. I can't be having that.
Oh,
but Danny was in on it.
We've got 8 people watching. You know, and you have excluded most of them. All right. Question.
I remembered it.
Question, Charlie.
Does he go? Oh, matron.
No, and lose your point that I gave you.
Sanitary.
Horrible stereotype. Danny.
He says, "I've got my claws stuck on you."
Lose a point. Question 3 is, what do you think you're doing?
What was the answer?
Oh yeah, fuck. Question 2 answer was it boils the water around it as it moves its thing so fast, its course so
Wow.
fast,
Well,
and
it's like
there's
it's cooking itself.
flash of light, and there's a flash of light. No, it's in the whole ocean. It doesn't boil the whole ocean.
No, it's like it was a meal in a can sort of. But get your prawns here, it cooks itself for you as well.
It is
Yeah.
just like that, but it's not the case. Question 3. What do you think you're doing,
I get my head checked.
Tony?
I'm losing all my street credibility on this quiz show of yours.
That's very true. Have a point to make up for it.
Sanitary.
Danny,
I'm making singing sounds.
are you?
That's what I think I'm doing.
I don't think that's happened. So no points there.
I'll be there for you.
Mark.
I'm just waiting, hoping to get picked up by a bigger network.
Yes, aren't we all? Have a point. Charlie, any thoughts?
I'm doing Sudoku.
Yeah, I have
Honestly.
a point for multitasking. Question 4. What is the first line of the Spanish national anthem?
Sinatra, sanitary.
Danny.
Rest ye merry Spaniards.
Oh, God rest ye merry Spaniard men.
Yes.
Nothing you dismay. No, it's not that.
I get my head checked.
Tony.
Barcelona.
No, it's not that. Anyone else?
Ah,
Charlie.
un cerveza, por favor.
No, Mark.
I have nothing.
It's the correct answer. It's nothing. It has no words. The Spanish national anthem has no words. Question 5. How many national anthems in the world have no words?
Sanitary.
Proper questions. Danny.
Lots of them.
No. Anyone
I'll
else?
be there
Ah,
for 4.
Yes, it's the right answer. Charlie, what were you going to say?
I was going to say some of them.
Okay, I think Charlie deserves a point as well. Mark, yeah, 4. Can you name them, Mark? Can you?
Yes,
Can you?
the Spanish is the most famous,
Yes.
and then there's the Portuguese,
No.
and the Mexican.
No. It's
'cause they're all
Spain,
kind of Spanish.
Bosnia, and Herzegovina. Herzegovina. Eva Herzegovina, Kosovo, and San Marino.
Of course.
Spain,
Hang
Eva
on.
Herzegovina, Gary Kasparov, and Jose Mourinho.
San
Yes, Danny.
Marino. I know that does have an anthem. It goes.
No.
It has an anthem, but no words.
La 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 la.
Show me the way to Amarillo.
Oh,
Is it too late to get a transfer to another team?
Question 6. Who is this? It's Matt's impression. Matthew's
Well,
impression.
well, that's ruined my plan for tea.
Who was that? Stunning impression.
wow.
Ah,
I get my head checked.
Charlie was in there
Oh,
first.
sorry.
is it the lady from Father Ted that just goes, tea, Father?
No,
What her name?
Tony.
Was it Mrs. Brown?
it was not.
Anyone else?
I'll be there for you.
Mark.
Is it just some obscure reference we've got no idea, no hope of getting because it's something off the net from like
Ooh, I think that's probably
years
pretty
ago.
much on the nose. Is it?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
We didn't ask you, Siri. It's not your go.
Well, it was Edith O'Brady upon learning that they'd eaten the last potato in the height of the potato famine in 1846. So potentially, yes.
Yeah, I think Mark should get a point for that. Again, Siri wanted to join in. Maybe next week we'll have Siri and Alexa as the two guests. Oh, right. Question 7. Complete this terrible joke. Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
I'll be there for you.
Mark.
Because he was outstanding in his field.
Yes! Points! Da-da-da-da-da. Question 8. Is cereal soup?
I had my head checked.
Tony?
Of course not.
Is correct. It's not soup. It's a breakfast thing in a bowl. Have a pint. Question 9. What type of wood am I thinking of?
Had my
I'll be there
head
for
checked.
Mark, I think, just.
your own.
Oh,
Minus 1 point. Charlie?
Sequoia.
No.
Oh,
Sanitary.
Danny?
Oak.
No.
Balsa.
Yes! It's balsa. It's balsa wood. That's what I've got written down. Good work. And finally, question 10. What would you like to be called if you weren't called what you're called?
Sanitary.
Danny. Okay, it's a good answer. Oh, no. Sorry. Yes, your buzzer.
Audio.
You'd like to be called Audio. Audio O'Hara.
audio.
Nice.
Oh.
Anyone else?
Get my head checked.
Tony.
I'd like to be called Hello.
Why?
Hello, hello.
Nice. Okay, have a point.
Is it me you're looking for? Sorry.
I'll be there for you.
Yes, Mark.
Sir.
Sir Womersley. Lovely. And Charlie,
just
would you
sir.
like to say anything and get a free point?
Princess.
Oh, have a point. All right, and that exciting conclusion brings us to the end of the round, and indeed the entire quiz. How exciting! It was evenly poised before we went into the final round. Let's go over to Matthew Corner and see how it's looking now. Matthew.
Well, there was very nearly not a winner. It was so close.
What?
It was just edging. But one team did manage to get a 1 point lead and thus win. Now, you'd like to think that it was our incredibly experienced and honourable team captains.
One would think it must have been.
You would definitely think it must have been. And the best of friends did get 10 points. But they lost to Stark and Rogers, who got 11.
What? Stark and Rogers. What a terrific debut for you, Tony. What a terrific captainship for you, Charlie. How are you two going to spend your prize money? That's what I want to know.
Shall we go on a holiday together?
I think so.
Where are you going to go?
Sheringham?
Lovely.
No. No. Wells.
Sharing, one of you can go to each of them and maybe you can just text each other. Lovely.
You
Thank
should observe social distancing by one of you going to Wells and one to Sheringham.
I think you are supposed to be at least a village apart at all times. Danny and Mark, the two captains, are you embarrassed about being beaten by the newcomers?
How
does it feel? Is it red more?
I'm actually fine with it. I think as long as we go away and lick each other's wounds, we'll be okay.
Wow. You really are best of friends, aren't you?
You're going to start on a -1 point for that.
There you go. I think you've just lost another point, Mark. Danny, any final thoughts?
Well, I mean, I'm now just a bit throwing up in my shoe right now for my teammate, but I think we should leave it like that.
Okay, harmony at the end.
Let's just say I took one for the team, it seems.
It sounds like you're going to. All right, that brings us to the end of the quiz. Thank you to everybody for watching. Remember, if you want to listen to any of the old episodes, you can subscribe to Idiot Wind in your favourite podcast app or go to idiotwindpodcast.com. If you'd like to support us and enable us to do more of these and have increasing production values, then we would love that. You can go to ko.fi.com/idiotwind or click the button on idiotwindpodcast.com. But for now, thank you for watching. You have been watching Charlotte Gardner, Tony Amos, Danny O'Hara, Mark Womersley. I've been Chris Reed. Matthew has also been here. Matthew, do you have any parting inspirational thoughts for our viewers?
What?
See you next week when we once again play Idiot Wind. Lovely, thank you. Everybody say goodbye to Facebook and Twitch. Thank you, people, for watching.
Bye, Facebook.
Bye.
Bye-bye,
Next
Twitch.
time.